Hi everyone, welcome back. It's been a month now that I've been without my Kona Electric, a month without an electric car. And I thought I'd share with you something that's been on my mind for, I'd say, the last couple of weeks probably. It's, did I do the right thing selling the Kona Electric at the time that I did? Because I'm starting to think that I've timed it just right. Price-wise, I got a really good price, and it's quite close to retail. I noticed that the dealer that bought my car has actually reduced it down a couple of £1,000s. So nobody's rushed in and bought it in a hurry. And it does seem as though the premium SEs are coming down in price, the 68 reg ones. And I do wonder why really. If trade price for the premium SE Kona Electric from 2 years old is now £26,000 or less, depending on what dealer you go to. And these are book prices, aren't they? And I'm a bit skeptical of book prices because they're the industry's own price. You know, they want to take the standard percentage off that you always take off with every car, and therefore they're encouraging a lower price so they can make a good margin on the car themselves. I do wonder whether seeing cars at those trade prices is encouraging the prices down, whereas the car is actually worth more. I start to think through that my car cost brand new £33,500, I think, or was it 32.8, 33.3? Do you know, I can't quite remember. It's in that region of 32.8 to 33,500 UK pounds, and a new car today is about £41,500 at the same spec, less 3,000 UK grant, that's £38,500. So if you're paying £38,500 for a brand new Kona Electric Premium SE with all the goodies, and in 2 years' time it's only going to be worth £26,000, then that's a big depreciation, isn't it? That's 10, 12 and a bit £1,000 in 2 years. That's very different to the very small depreciation that I experienced. And it makes me sort of wonder whether the depreciation on a new model will be the same as depreciation on my model, because if the list price was higher, perhaps the book will encourage a higher price, where in reality the price difference between the two models should be negligible, in that the new model that's come out doesn't have anything of more value on it other than Blue Link and a slightly faster AC charger, which does or does not work on a Zappi or on a smart charger. So it's I don't think it's worth any more money. So I do worry about the depreciation on the Kona Electric going forward. If the current levels of trade value are anything to go by, then the depreciation will be quite high. And it starts to make me think that, yeah, Konas are more popular now. There's more of them around. The new European factory that Hyundai have got going is bringing more and more cars in all the time. I notice on the UK Facebook group that there are more and more customers buying and coming online all the time at a much more rapid rate than they were in the last 2 years. So if there's more supply and demand is impacted because there's a lot more EVs on the market, then it makes sense that prices aren't going to be as high. So it's almost looking like I have timed it to sell really well, that quite a few people are considering getting rid of their Kona after 2 years. More people will keep it for longer, but as more cars come out, they're tempted. So like the other Kona Electric owners that I met up with recently for a meetup at the coast in Norfolk, they've all changed and they've all got Model 3s. I was the only one left out without an EV, still waiting for one on order. So more people are moving away from the Hyundai brand, and partly that's because of experience with Hyundai themselves, where they haven't treated customers very well, and also it's because other cars are very attractive. But is it also because of the issues with this new BMS update? The timing of that has been quite bad as well, and I'm lucky to have got away with having the car updated and had no issues with regard to it. The software was installed really well and didn't mess up. I didn't have any charging issues, and of course there was nothing wrong with the car and the battery when it was checked. And that's a big thing, isn't it? Have you seen in the news that Hyundai are recalling 20-odd thousand Kona Electrics across the world, and there have been 20 fires apparently where the Kona Electric has actually caught fire. So if that's the case, you know, is there a fire gate that's about to start up and be a concern for people? So would you want to buy a Kona Electric if there is a real risk that it will catch fire? it makes me wonder about this BMS update that's been going on in the UK. It wasn't a recall. It was just a software update. So whenever the car came in and they were advising people to take it in, they were checking the battery and checking to see whether it was, I don't know, whether it was leaking electricity, whether the wiring was of the sufficient quality expected, etc. And I don't know exactly what they're looking for, but you could see in the details of their check here that if it didn't pass, then they didn't try and put the software update in. They just basically put it straight through for a battery replacement. So I start to wonder whether the timing of this news article coming out about a full recall of the Kona Electric was, whether the UK software update was predating that they were testing the market to see how many of the cars actually failed the test to try and work out what their ongoing cost and exposure would be if they did a full recall on them. Because it now seems as though what we thought was just a software update to update the battery management for the 12 volt and the checking on the high voltage is more about checking that the battery's okay, and if it's not, getting it replaced, because obviously the issues about them catching fire. So yeah, it does concern me seeing the depreciation value potentials getting worse for the Kona, seeing more supply coming online for the Kona, which is going to make it more popular and make it more numerous in numbers on the road, but also it will encourage cheaper second-hand user values. Because the other thing is, this is a really expensive car, isn't it? It's nearly £30,000 for a 2-year-old Kona Electric, in which case £30,000 buys you quite a few brand new electric cars. So if you've already got £30,000, it's not difficult to stretch the extra 5,000 or 6,000 and buy a brand new one. And brand new cars are obviously more attractive than a used car with 20,000 miles on it. So again, I think I did quite well, letting go of the car at the right time, before any of this fire stuff really catches on, if it does, and before before supply really ramps up, so that prices start to come down. Because I saw a little while ago as well that some dealers were offering incentives for Kona Electrics and Hyundai Ioniqs. So the first time I've seen Hyundai brands discounting their cars. Now, admittedly, it was a one-off offer at the end of the month, trying to push numbers for the end of the month. But it's the first signs that discounts are coming and prices might be coming down. It's without doubt that even though I loved owning the Kona, I loved having the car, and I still think it's one of the best electric cars you can buy for under £40,000, I'm sensing a little bit of a vibe that it's not as desirable now as, say, a Kia e-Niro, and therefore some of the gloss has gone off it. And that's a real shame that Hyundai haven't managed to keep it in the limelight and keeping it as popular as it was originally, and it was in the first year or so. It saddens me to think that I probably won't buy another Hyundai. There's no way I'd buy a new Hyundai Kona now, with all the issues around it, knowing what the customer service is like from Hyundai, knowing how poor their communication is about software updates, and how, well, they've just been getting them wrong, haven't they? Not just from telling customers or not telling customers, but they actually can't physically install them. And then you hear of people that are waiting on parts for their car, and they're having to wait months and months without them. That was my biggest fear about buying a brand new car, a brand new model that wasn't selling very many. What happens if you're waiting on a part and you're without your car for months? They don't really give you any discount, they don't pay you, and they'll just give you a loaner. It's probably going to be a petrol automatic they'll give you. Hyundai don't really look after people like that when they're making mistakes about parts. And yeah, the parts issue is quite a big issue for me, because it's one of the things I actually asked Hyundai UK before I bought the Kona Electric. I asked them very specifically what their parts placement plan was. Did they have a strategy for making sure all the parts were available in every country? And if they weren't actually in the country, did they have a parts supply in nearby countries they could source quickly? And they told me I didn't have to worry. Professional big company, they had it in hand, it would be fine. And lo and behold, what have we found? You have to wait months and months for certain parts because they're not in Europe, let alone the UK. And basically they've got to be made or shipped from Korea. Not a good situation, and I felt like I was lied to. Obviously the person at the other end in Hyundai UK just didn't have a clue and basically fobbed me off with what I wanted to hear. I didn't like that, and I certainly don't now. Those memories of discussions with Hyundai aren't positive ones in my mind. So yeah, I'm just not as keen about Hyundai anymore, am I? But on the positive side of what I'm saying, it's probably time coming now or soon where the Hyundai Kona will be a little bit of a bargain, because when you've got choices of Leafs and Ioniqs and i3s and e-Golfs and they're all holding good money, if the Kona starts to come down in value slightly, then it's going to seem like a very, very attractive car. Because if you're comparing a 40 kilowatt hour Leaf or a 40 kilowatt hour Zoe or an Ioniq, and then suddenly there's a Kona available 64 kilowatt hour for not much more money, even in premium specification, it's going to be quite an attractive car to have. It is a very, very good car. So I can see the market changing, and that's really what I want to communicate in today's video. What I saw originally with the Kona, I first bought it and then you could sell it for more than what I'd paid for it, and it held its value extremely well for at least a year or more. In the second year, things start to change and it started to come down in price a little bit, so you could sell it for about the same price as you paid for it. But it's definitely changed now, where if you wait for the right buyer, you can still get a really good price. But if you're in a hurry and you just want to sell it or trade it, the prices are pretty cheap. I mean, £26,000 for a spotless 2-year-old low mileage Kona is a very, very good deal. In fact, I have been looking through Auto Trader, and with cash in the bank after selling mine, I'm still tempted sometimes looking at a Kona Electric because they look like good value. And I think we're going to see more of that. Let's hope anyway that Hyundai sort themselves out and they get this update out of the way, and this fire-related stuff all disappears nice and quietly, because then it'll hold decent values. So I'll leave it there. I just wanted to share that little bit of information with you and thoughts about the value of the Kona, and yeah, I feel like I've made a good decision letting go of the Kona at just about the right time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for sharing these videos, and keep watching. More information to come. Some solar videos, more electric car videos to come soon. See you again soon. Bye for now. The new electric car's definitely on the way. Been told by the dealership that it is being built at the moment. It's a month ahead of schedule for delivery, so I should have it by the end of October. So really looking forward to that. Not sure how long it'll be exactly after the first day I get it and how I do the reveal. I'll try and work that out later. But look forward to sharing the details and the car with you as soon as possible. Thanks as always for watching, and look forward to the next video. I might be doing the next video on why I'm not buying a Tesla Model 3. After meeting up with some other ex-Kona owners who have all got Model 3s, it really has crossed my mind why I'm thinking differently to these people, and they're all buying Model 3s, and yet some of the reasons why they're buying them are actually the reasons why I don't want to buy it. Anyway, take care. See you again soon. Bye for now.